We will call to order our regular scheduled meeting for September 11th. Can I have you please stand, pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will. Roll call, please.
Mr. Atway, President.
Here.
Mrs. DeCapua, Vice President.
Here.
Dr. Ahlquist.
Here.
Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. DeMilo.
Here.
All right, are we going to go principal's reports and then?
Yep.
Very good. All right, we will start off before we move to the superintendent's report with our principal's reports. So who would like to go first? I think, Dr. Potts, you have to run from here, don't you? So if you'd like to come up.
Anyway, thank you. Also, the whole thing here. So I know we just got started. The summer seems like it was a really long time ago at this point. But I kind of want to go over a couple of things we have going on in high school. We have some new faces. I hope I didn't scare people away, but now that I've been here 1 year, the board administrators, the other three are new this year. And we have some other new faces. But everybody is settling in well. I think we need some hires. We have good people that left, but we have really good people that came. So I think that we're going to miss a step. That part's all good. I want to just mention a couple numbers that were pretty outstanding to me. We recently found out that we have 65 AP scholars from last year at Canfield High School. 65 is a really big number for that. So we're very happy with that. There's three categories. There's AP scholars, AP scholars with honors, and AP scholars with distinction. And between those three groups, we had 65. So that was really outstanding. That was from the class of 24. Some of the kids that just graduated, a lot of those were this year's seniors for the AP classes last year. We had recently, we got 8 Governor's Merit Scholars at Canfield High School, which is also outstanding. Those are $20,000 scholarships. Governor DeWine Hood gets $5,000 a year for 4 years, and those are for students who are planning to continue their education in Ohio. So we had 8 winners that won the $20,000 in scholarship, and then we also this was really good. We had 6 National Merit Scholars this year. So last year we had 2. It was an outstanding class. We had 2. This year we have 6. So we were very happy about that. So those are all good news things. And then starting off the school year, we got things going. We have a lot more offerings this year. We have 24 new course offerings. We have some new AP, some new CCP, 24 new course offerings. We actually are offering 153 different classes at the high school this year. And so scheduling was certainly fun this summer. But we're off to a good start. So we have a lot of great offerings and for a lot of great kids. And I guess that's about it. Other than it's going to be a good year to be a Cardinal, and we're ready to get going. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Potts. And it's great to see the course offerings. I know I have a freshman coming into high school, and so he was excited to see all the choices and selections. So I think I've gotten positive feedback from everybody about those course offerings. And congratulations to our National Merit Scholars, too. And our APs. Mr. Rubin.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mr. Rubin. I'm the principal of Canfield Middle School. And bear with me, I didn't think I needed my cheaters today, but I do. But just want to start out with over the summer, test scores came in, and we're very impressed with a lot of our scores. We were first place in the county for grades 5, 6, 7, 8 math, and we were also in first place for grades 5 and 8 science as well. So I'm really proud of our students and how they performed last year. We had a great open house. It's one of my favorite days of the year. Just feeling the energy of the building, and we have so many parents and students that come in. They're just excited about their schedules. They're excited to meet their teachers. I get to meet a lot of new faces, especially in the 5th grade, and it was just an unbelievable turnout, which was very positive. Moving on to that, we had, sorry. Let's see here. Yeah, we, at the start of the schedule, with our schedules were, very few errors and very few moving around and things like that. So the worst part is if there's an error with this, especially a fifth grader, and you have to change your schedule around, it's really tough. But we really made a point to make sure everything was balanced and checked and double checked before. Our school council did a great job over the summer of doing that. So we have very few errors with our students in their schedules. We moved on to athletics and our cross-country teams, our volleyball teams, our football and cheer. Everyone's doing a great job this year, just being great sports. The parents have been really positive in the stands, and I've enjoyed catching all the athletic events for the fall. And upcoming pretty soon is a tradition we started a few years back, a fifth grade fun night. We love getting C.H. Campbell and Hilltop students together on a Friday night, so that's coming up next week. We'll have them all come in the backfield. We always have a great turnout for that, and we get them food, and we bring them and play a bunch of games. It's a nice way to bring the two buildings together with that. And last thing, I just want to talk about some of our clubs. I'm just really proud. We have some teachers that really just stepped up and just volunteered their time to do things. And we started a chess club last year. Our school nurse was instrumental in helping that. And we had almost 40 kids that are participating in that. We had boardmen that came last year and had some chess matches against them, so it was really nice. But my favorite of the new clubs is one of my sixth grade teachers came to me about a crafting club and just learn how to crochet and knit. We had 40 students come this last week and showed up for this, so she had to actually order more supplies for it. And we even had teachers that have come and learned how to do it. So it's so nice when you walk in, you see teachers there with the students, and there's learning a new craft, and it's been really positive. So between esports and robotics, I feel like we're offering a very diverse amount of different activities for our students and for their well-being. So again, it's been a great start to the year. We appreciate all your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rubin. I'm curious to see how many of the incoming fourth grade parents, when they walked into your middle school, recognize the need for maybe a change in that. Mr. Lavery.
Good evening. My name is Travis Lavery. I'm the principal of C.H. Campbell Elementary School. It has truly been an amazing start to the year, and we couldn't be any more excited about all the hard work that went into getting ready for it. Over the summer, it was a little busier than usual, as I'm sure a lot of people in this room know. All the construction that was coming in with the air conditioning units being installed, as well as work beginning on the secure vestibules that's going to be completed soon. It presented some challenges for our custodial staff, but they truly rose to the occasion, bobbing and weaving around all the people running electrical lines and everything else to get those units up and running prior to students coming in on the first day. And it's truly made a huge impact on the students coming in every day with their education, with being able to focus, being able to just thrive as learners. One of the most amazing pieces of the whole thing is coming in after recess every day. And in the past, they went from being outside and running around and getting warm to coming inside and getting even warmer with the humidity. And seeing them come in and actually cool off now has truly just been a humongous blessing. Aside from our custodial staff, our maintenance staff made a number of huge improvements around the building as well, cleaning up some of the facades around and fixing some safety issues that we've had throughout the building. So they've been working hard as well. And I also just want to shout out a few people. Our transportation department, the first day of school came and went, and we got every kid here and every kid home, and it continued happening day after day. It's a monumental task getting all those people where they need to go, and the transportation department truly did a great job over the summer in getting us prepared and getting us ready. Finally, our summer secretary, Angela Burke. Summer secretary, you wouldn't think would be a very busy job, but with the transition to final forms, it was a lot of work this summer. And Angela stepped up and really did all that she could to make sure that we had as high a completion rate as we could possibly get by the end of the summer, and it was truly exceptional. But no, it's been an amazing start. It's been great getting back and having the kids come in on open houses and come in every day, seeing the smiling faces, seeing the kids excited to learn every day. It's truly been a very smooth start. We had 2 new recess aides that started this year, and with 2 new people out there, my number one goal was making sure that after day 1, they came back on day 2. And not only did they come back day 2, but they kept coming back. That's a challenging job, and they're doing an awesome job at it. So Working with teachers right now, starting to set goals for the new school years. We were very impressed with the goals that we set last year, and we've been reviewing those. And they made tremendous growth last year, and you could just see how much work and effort went into it. And when those report cards for the school district get released on this upcoming Friday, you'll see it there, reflected there as well. So just truly very blessed to be back at it and back to having the kids coming into the school every day, and just excited for what the year has in store. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lavery.
Thank you.
I'm glad that air conditioner was able to be completed in time too, so. Mr. Flood.
Good evening. Michael Flood, principal of Hilltop. First of all, it's good to be back. We had a great start of the year. Really want to give a shout out to our custodians. We had 4 different programs going on during the summer. Bruce and Annie not only did their work and never complained, they actually took a student in from the middle school to get them off the couch and to get them to work and just do different things. And a former Canfield student that lives across the street would come over every day and help out just to get them off the couch again. They went over and beyond their expectations, and just want to commend them. I want to give it to Scott, Matt, and Thomas. We had new playground equipment in. They went in, worked their butt off, and did a wonderful job. Another 2 I do want to give a thanks to is Larry and Linda from Transportation. Over the summer, I reached out to them, and we had a kid that did not want to get on the bus last year, a little nervous. And not only did they help, they brought the bus over here that he would ride. We rode around for a couple times, and now the kid's been on for a couple weeks. So shout out to them. School year has been great. One thing is the first day I loved seeing the kids a smile. This one was a little different. We have a table that we sit, my custodian, myself, and eat lunch with the kids every day. And as I'm welcoming them back, their first line, not, hey, Mr. Flood, how are you? Is they ask, hey, is the table open? So that was their first thing. So it's making an impact, and we're just glad to be back in session. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flood. Thank you to all of our staff for sure during the summer transition with all of our projects that are ongoing. Principals, thank you for your reports. Appreciate it.
Mr. Rubin, there was one thing I wanted to say after you spoke was I had on my street 2 twins that were entering the middle school, and their dad did take them. Their mom was working, so their dad did take them to open house, but they were still very nervous because they said dad did not stay long enough for them to figure out where they were going to go. So mom texted me, and one of the teachers, Chrissy Davis, came in on a Sunday and took the kids around, and just kudos to her, your staff, for doing that. It was huge, and the kids were like, they were treated like, like they won a ticket to, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So yeah, just wanted to let you know that.
Very good. Thank you again. And we know you guys have, if you need to head out, we know you have other commitments for this evening with school events, so thank you. We appreciate your time. All right, next up is Mr. Knoll for the superintendent's report, but we will get out of your way so that you can present.
I want to echo the praise to the building administrators as well, guys. Really appreciate all your efforts to get us up and running. A fantastic start to the year. All right, so I'd like to welcome those of you in the house today and those of you watching online. We had some administrators mention final forms, and I want to thank our parents for getting those completed. I had a mom who has triplets, which seems to be a common theme in Canfield. She said, Mr. Knoll, can I give you an amen? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, you have no idea how much time these online forms have saved me. And I said, well, that's exactly why we did it. And the next year it gets even better, because what I got to do is click a button if you like everything that's on it. So thanks to all our parents for getting that done. If you still have it, please do that for us, okay? Friendly reminder. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what's going on here around the district. So you should have gotten my call probably about 5 o'clock tonight, for those of you in the district. Our PTA annual community tailgates Friday night, all right, from 5 to 6:30, right outside here at the high school. Me and the gentleman will be working the grill, cooking up those hot dogs made to order, all right, as you all know. It's going to be a great time. We have the bounce house out there, DJ comes, our band and cheerleaders are out there to help get everybody pumped up, get ready for the big game on Friday night. And speaking of the game, One of my favorite little activities that we do is we're going to welcome our military and first responders Friday night. Those folks will get in for free, obviously, a small token of appreciation. And then we're going to recognize them at halftime down on the track, okay, after the band halftime shows are over. So we hope all of our military folks and first responders and their families can come. And then also that night, we are going to unveil the Purple Star banners that both of our elementary schools received last spring. This is one of my goals coming to Canfield, talked a lot about this, so we're just going to have a real quick little display for the community to take that in as well. So we will see you on Friday night. In my Tuesdays this week, I mentioned start with Hello Week. You can see the elementary buildings, the middle school and high school. We're not always doing the same thing every day just because of the schedule and what's going on, but I love this week, okay? And here's what it's all about. Building a community, making connections. Nobody sits alone, okay? Get a new friend, get involved in something. I've spoken from this podium for 5 years now. To me, when you talk about school safety, the first thing you do is make connections with kids. Doesn't cost very much money, number one, but it's the way to get everybody connected to this school. So we'll have a lot of fun next week with all kinds of different activities going on. Our counselors, our PBIS team, they all put these things together, and I'm looking forward to a great week next week with Start with Hello Week. I want to transition from kind of what's going on in the district, talk a little bit more about our upcoming bond issue. So I've had some opportunities to speak already, and one of the first things that people ask me or might tell me, say, you know what, Mr. Null, I don't really love this plan. This isn't in it, etc. And the conversations have gone well. You know, we've talked about, hey, we tried to do all in. You know, we tried to get those elementary buildings. We tried to consolidate it. But at the end of the day, what our committee kept hearing, and the board as well, it was just too much money. That $100 million was just too much, okay? So from that committee, they got together and said, hey, you know what? Instead of trying to ask for all in, let's come back with what we believe is the #1 concern in the district, and that's our middle school, okay? So that's the plan moving forward, okay? Project cost was the big issue, so we heard our community, we're going to move forward. And the other thing we heard was this from some people. We don't see the school spending any money on things to fix things up. And I know sometimes it's hard to see that. Sometimes we fix up things on the roof, fix the roofs themselves, and maybe you don't see that. But as everybody hopefully knows by now, the board made a huge commitment over the summer to spend close to $2 million on fixing some things up, okay? And we want to make sure everybody knows that. And here's the one slide that we've talked about before as far as what some of those summer projects have been. Our elementary principals talked about the security vestibules going up. If you've been to this parking lot here at the high school, you know there's been improvements there. Okay, I got a lot of amens about that as well. Even though we only did half, we got more to come. We did some roof work here at the high school, but like I said, it's hard for people to see that. But those sections in red, which is a very small part of it, cost us a little over $500,000. You've seen some upgrades with tennis courts, baseball and softball is going on. And you might not see this, but you can feel it. Like Mr. Lavery said, when you're walking into C.H. Campbell now, you're definitely feeling that upgrade with air conditioning. So those were the summer projects and the money that the board committed to get those projects done. So here's what we got coming on. Okay, in November, we have a $3.7 million bond issue on the ballot. And here's what we're going to get. We're looking at a brand new middle school, okay, to be built on the current site. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Also an additional gym. Our committee was very animate that there's never enough gym space in Canfield. So we're going to add that gym to it as well. And then select renovations across the district in the high school and our 2 elementaries. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Here's the total project cost. Okay, we're looking at about $47 million for the building itself, about 112,000 square feet. That additional gym at about $3.8 million. Once the new building's built, we need to abate and demo. All right, we'll get the asbestos out, knock it down to the ground. And then the renovations for the other 3 buildings, we're looking at close to $12 million for a total picture of $64.1 million is what we're looking at. How about those renovations? What are they going to look like? The dollar amount? These are some potential areas, and obviously we'll just deal with the highest priorities. And to be honest with you, roofs across the district are number one. Paving, our elementary buildings are in desperate need of flooring. So instead of having carpet down there that can get wet and dirty and all that kind of stuff, we're looking at some nice flooring. We're going to be ADA compliant, which is obviously a big concern around the district. We have windows, lightings, boilers. We have a lot of those in the district and foundations. So we're going to prioritize those and try to knock as many of those things off as we can in those 3 buildings with those renovation dollars. So here's the financials kind of summed up: 64.1 million, 3.7 mil. We're looking at about 5% on the interest, and the length of the bond is 35 years. The $1 million question is, how much is it going to cost me, Mr. Knoll? Okay, so we put this chart out there. If you're looking at, in that first column there, $100,000 property value, after you go to the county auditor's website, it's $10.79 a month is what we're looking at, okay, for that $100,000. Now, you might say, well, my home's worth more than that. It's kind of hard to explain the formula to people, so here's what I did. I just took a screenshot. If you put your name and address on the county auditor's website and your property comes up, here's what you get. And I just kind of highlighted a piece of that where it says current value. Okay, you've got your land value, your market value of the home, and that total there is your number, okay? So if 1079 was 100,000, if you got a 400,000, you probably go multiply that by 4 is what you're looking for, okay? So in this case, it's $44.50 a month if you have that $400,000+ home, okay? So that's a little cheat sheet to help you out with that. Here's the official ballot language. I know it's probably hard to see up there, but remember, you don't vote yes or no, you vote for or against, okay? You guys okay out there? You hearing the music like I'm hearing? Okay, all right. I'm not hearing anything up here. I think it's behind me. We might be having some music going on behind me. But I can work right through it. Mr. Villar's going to check on it. So here's our new high school. About 840 some kiddos, 112,000 square feet. I talked about that second gym coming our way. The new school is going to be built on the current site, and I'll walk you through a little picture about what that's going to be. And right here it is. This is a fit study. It's a fit study. Okay, you can see the new middle school on the west side there in that shade of blue. It's going to be 2 stories, but the architect had to do this for me just to make sure to fit on that property, and it does. We're going to spend a lot of time talking with our community about safety. We have some folks concerned that it's not safe to build when you're having school that close together. Obviously, it is safe. Architects and engineers and construction people do this all the time. This is not just something new for Canfield. But I sat down with our folks just to come up with a plan on how we're going to pull this off. Because no matter what we do, it's going to be crazy, crazier than normal. But there is a plan to be able to get this done safely. And I worry about buses and cars. I never want buses and cars coming together. Even though we have good parent drivers, okay, I still don't like that. So this will change probably and get morphed a little, but this is a good safety plan moving forward as we get rolling. So here's what this thing could look like when it's all said and done. You got your new building on the west side there, okay? Now remember, we're putting that new building on some practice fields. So now our practice field shows up here in the front of the building, and in the middle there you have parking, and that's where our buses are going to go. Okay, so this is a potential final look from above on what this middle school site could be, okay? Things could be tweaked a little bit, but one good thing is, if I live on Edwards, once this building's built, I'm not gonna have people parking on my street anymore to watch any more games. Because now the game field's on the other side, on the Wadsworth side, okay? So that's good news to the folks on Edwards as far as what this is gonna look like moving forward. I gave you a couple sketches. All right, so here's a sketch coming off the view off of Edwards, like the back end of the building, okay? And then you can see where we have our buses going down the alley. But this is a nice sketch from the Edwards side. And here's a good one from the front on Wadsworth. A nice little sketch. You can see the practice field there and the parking lot right beside it. And as a reminder, the entrance will still be on the Wadsworth side when everything is said and done, okay? Most of us in the room know the major issues and challenges at the middle school. I just outlined them there to your left. This is from the OFCC, our architect, and just to be honest with you, our custodians. When I did a walk around with them, we just kind of concurred on all this. But roof, AC, boilers, plumbing, electrical, and the ADA compliance are big concerns for us in that building. In the middle, I put the air conditioning unit for some of the middle school folks. That big fan, which isn't good, but that's kind of what we got. Okay, that's the reality over there. This is Miss Altero. Her classroom a couple years ago in the 5th grade wing, sadly, when she was in her room and it was raining, the roof tile above her head collapsed in her room. And it was pretty devastating for her as an educator. It was kind of scary, but we had to move her room, basically, for the rest of that year. We had to spend some money to fix the 5th grade roof that year as well, which we did. And then the floor, carpeting, and all that. So, unfortunately, we are seeing some of that deteriorating roof part, not only from above, but in classrooms as well. And she was kind enough to tell her story, and I'll be sharing that through our community meetings as well. But to me, it's all about what gets better. We have these challenges at the middle school, but what gets better with a new build? To me, that's what it's all about. How does teaching and learning get better? The obvious thing is the looks, the lighting, the colors, aesthetics, the temperature regulation, because we're going to be full air conditioning in there, the air quality. As of right now, our classrooms in the middle school are 600 to 1,000 square feet. Okay, real tight boxes. A new build gets you 900 for a traditional classroom and 1,200 square feet if you're like a science teacher or in a lab environment, okay? And then the other piece of the puzzle that we don't have now are these modern spaces. Now, we just kind of want to walk you through what this could be. Obviously, number one, we're going to get top of the line when it comes to school safety, a brand new secure vestibule, the cameras, the door systems, fire suppression, which means sprinkler system, all that's going to be top of the line. We'll be 100% ADA compliant. That means bathrooms and counters and drinking fountains. All those things will be built to accommodate our kids with special abilities moving forward. Technology is a little tough at that middle school. I stick one foot out my window and the other foot out the door to try to get a lot of reception over there. But those bricks make it hard. Obviously, with a new build, the technology is going to be greatly improved. This could be your second gym, for example, okay, that our committee said we're all in on that. This might be my favorite slide. So during class change, what you see there is a hallway, kids going into the next class. Once the bell rings and they're in class, that area now is teachable. Okay, there's no wasted space in these new builds. It's incredible. These are hallways when they need to be, but the rest of the time, teaching and learning goes on. No wasted space with new builds, which is exciting. Flexible learning areas, if you can see there in the middle, that space you have there in between two classes, there's a garage door. You can pull that door down if you want to separate those two classrooms, or if you want to have some collaboration, you pull it out, and now you got a nice big area. So those are features that we could get as well. Maker spaces, opportunity, beautiful media center, okay, also. I love the small group spaces. And I showed this to our middle school teachers today. Could you imagine having a teacher collaboration area like that? Trust me, we don't have that now. We have closets and teachers kind of stuck in between different spaces, but that could be exciting for them. Opportunities for outdoor learning spaces as well. Large gathering areas, okay, by dividing those things up, opening them up when we need to. And music. We have music rooms now, but they're not very acoustically pleasing, according to the music folks, and I will concur. But you're going to get some great band, choir opportunities here. It's not only the colors and how everything looks, but just also how it sounds in there. So here's what you got on the left. You got your new middle school, all right? Includes that second gym, not only for us, but for our community, which is very important as well. When we're looking at nights and weekends, that thing's going to be open just like they are now, okay, for our community use. On the right-hand side, you see the list of renovations there. We've been talking a lot about that. All this information that I've been sharing, tonight's presentation, all goes on our website, and it's at that link, which says November 20, 2024 bond issue. You can go there and get everything that I talk about, also share. And I wrote this out the other day, put it on my Tuesdays. I'm going to hold Cup of Joe meetings. Now, not everybody can do this. You got to have the right name, okay? And this works for me, obviously. So for 3 Wednesdays, for about an hour or so, we invite our community to come in. We're going to be over at the boardroom at the middle school. You can come in, and I'll probably just give a little presentation like this maybe to start, and then just have some Q&A and answer some questions and see what some thoughts are. On the right-hand side is our community meeting. All right, we're going to have that on Thursday at the middle school, okay, in the front gym. It's a couple weeks out yet, but we'll have myself, the treasurer, Mr. Atway, this is going to be up on there. I'm going to have an architect and somebody that does construction as well to be there to answer questions. Once again, I'll probably do a presentation just to get the blood flowing, and then we'll spend some time Q&A. And then at the end of that meeting, we'll have a building tour. So if there's anybody that hasn't seen that middle school, we'd be more than welcome to take you around, let you know what's going on. So those are some of the meetings coming up here, district-driven, in the next couple weeks. So people always say, okay, what are the takeaways, Mr. Noel? Well, I got to know what I'm talking to people at the barbershop, the Giant Eagle, the bank, whatever. This is what I think you need to know. Number one, it's $10.79 per $100,000 free market value. Good place to start, so get that in your memory bank. The other big piece is the middle school is going to be built on the same location. And here's what our committee said. Here's the big reasons why they wanted it there. Number one, police, right close to the police department. By the way, they came in helpful last night at about 1:30 in the morning. Number two, fire. Number three, library. And I'm kind of sad to admit this fourth one, but what do you think the fourth one might be at that location? The Dairy Queen. Now, allegedly, I might have walked over there a few times. I blame Mr. Vito, because that's his go-to place. But, all joking aside, that's what our committee focused on. Police, fire, library. Okay? And to be honest with you, I can't argue with any of that. It is a great location. So, put that in your memory bank as well. Also talk to people about the district spend that the board spent this summer to help improve our facilities, okay? The board's spending money as well. We're not just asking our community. We all have skin in the game. Talk about that additional gym, a lot of good opportunities for community use, and then the renovation areas, I put them on there as well. That's something else that you want to be able to articulate when you're talking to folks about what the project's all about, okay? So, like I said, come see us, come visit us, come to my Cup of Joe's, come to that community meeting. If you have any questions or anything else about it, make sure you give me a call, give me an email. So, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Knoll, for that update. And, I would just say a couple of things just to add to that. So from a talking point perspective, I think you touched on our shift in listening to the community as well as the voters. And I think we just need to reinforce that you can punch holes in any plan that comes out, but we have to realize that the reason we came to this plan was from feedback in different areas, and it was more of a modification. So I know people want more. And wanting more could potentially cost more, obviously, and so that's where we're at. But I think if we can get this message across and have success, it'll be a step in the right direction for Canfield local schools. So, and I see a couple people from the Levy Committee that are here. I don't want to call them all out by name because I know I'll forget somebody, but it's a small yet mighty committee that we have that's been very engaged out of the gates. I know at our open houses we helped get a lot of people information about this and preparing them for what's to come. So I wanted to thank each and every one of them, and I know their goal is to continue to grow that committee and make it larger and stronger, and I have faith in the people that are leading that charge and thank them for all of their support now and continued, because it takes a lot of time and effort, and people don't realize how many people from a boots on the ground are required, and so I'm very thankful for those members of the committee and those that are here too as well. All right. Presentation of the minutes. So we have our August 13th minutes that we received in advance, and if I can get a motion to accept those.
So moved. DeCapua?
Second, Demilo.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Olquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. Next up is our treasurer for the review of reports for July.
I set hard copies on your, at your place this evening. I'd like to go over the reports for July. The top one being the cash summary report. You'll notice an increase in our cash balance for the general fund. We did start receiving real estate tax advances. Actually, a substantial portion came in July, so that's why that fund balance has increased. And the food service fund, you'll notice, has gone down a little bit, and that is just because we are not taking in funds during the summer, and we still have our salaries and benefits that we pay for the personnel that work in the cafeteria, so that's typical to see that go down a little bit. The check payment register, it's a shorter one, which we're busy ordering rather than paying bills in July. Nothing really unusual on there. You'll notice some payments for some software renewals and subscriptions, annual renewals and subscriptions, and then there's also some of the summer projects. You'll notice some of the vendors on there, we were making progress payments for them. And then the biggest report, of course, in July is our outstanding purchase orders. Again, ordering for the year. On page 1 are the carryover purchase orders from last year, which all of those were the summer projects that Mr. Knoll discussed earlier. And then the next 9 pages, 2 through 10, are our annual purchase orders. So you'll notice, like the utilities and other vendors that we order from during the year, they're set up for the entire year, so some of those are large balances, but again, that's to cover 12 months. And then the remaining pages are individual purchase orders that teachers, principals, supervisors have put in to get the year started. And then our investment report, last page in that group, rates are pretty much the same at Star Ohio, and the sweep account in the mid-5s. I went to a seminar yesterday and listened to an economic outlook report, and everybody's definitely saying the rates are going to go down, and we are not going to see these short-term money market rates any longer. They're probably going to go down 1 to 2 points, actually. So I did today reach out and try to get some rates on some CDs, and while they're not at 5.5, they're in the 4s, and it might be a time to lock some of those in for a longer period of time, so I'm looking at doing that. Anybody have any questions on anything?
Were we able to lock in the CD that matured on August 26th?
I'm sorry?
Were we able to lock in a new rate for the August 26th CD that matured?
Yeah, they're 6-month, 12-month, 2 years, 18-month CDs. I just got, this afternoon, he just sent me the list, so I haven't really studied it to see exactly what's on there, but no, these...
So that 826 one then doesn't that usually renew, like, don't you usually have like 10 days to renew those?
I'm sorry.
No, the 820, one matured on 826. So did we renew that one?
Oh, okay. You can't just renew that.
Oh.
You have to go to a whole new one, the one that's expiring, yeah.
Oh, so
And
just-
actually, the rates are higher right now than the 3.3, because we've had that one for quite some time.
So it just goes into,
Yeah.
we just keep it
Yeah.
holding until you
Yeah, sorry.
negotiate?
I
No,
didn't
no
know.
problem. No, I just know that it comes out of the rate, so I just wondered what we want.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you. Can I get a motion to accept the treasurer's reports for July?
So moved, Campbell.
Second, Alquist.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. Public comments. Ms. Kohler? Just as a reminder, you have 3 minutes. If you would just state your name and address for the record, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lisa Lee Kohler. I live at 166 Callahan Road, Canfield, Ohio. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. I'm a Canfield alumna. My daughter's a Canfield alumna. My father, not a Canfield alumnus, moved us to Canfield specifically for the school system. That's why we lived here. He would brag to outsiders that Canfield had never voted down a school levy. That was some time back. Even though we have no current students in the system, public education is very important to us, and I will be voting for the upcoming levy. What concerns me today is the expanded education choice program in Ohio and how billions of dollars will be stripped from our public schools and diverted to private schools. Last year, the state paid approximately $966 million additional funds to private schools under the Enhanced School Choice Program. This year, the estimate is $1.05 billion. They anticipate it increasing every year. The powers that be in the Ohio State House have stated their ultimate goal is to privatize all education in Ohio. Many school districts in our state have joined together in a lawsuit to stop this practice, being that it's pretty much unconstitutional. But Canfield is not on that list. And near as I can tell, it hasn't been discussed in any meaningful way. The suit is scheduled to begin November 4th. I would ask the board to review the available information. Obviously, I don't have time to sit and tell you all about it, but I can guide you to a website. Vouchers Hurt Ohio is very informative. As a member of the League of Women Voters, a nonpartisan organization, we have had several meetings recently learning about the detrimental effects of the enhanced voucher system. We have voiced our strong support for Ohio's public education. I urge Canfield local schools to join that fight.
Thank you, Ms. Kohler.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I appreciate the heads up to that website, and what I think it's worth noting that public education is a very valuable piece that we will probably talk to Mr. Knoll about.
Yeah, I shared over the last 3 or 4 weeks in my board update with you a lot of that information that was shared tonight as well. So, but we can continue the conversation if you need some more information on what I provided. Be more than happy to do that.
Very good. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you again. All right. Next up is new business.
Okay, so we'll start with our personnel, accept the resignations of John Brewer, a lighting and sound technician, effective August 8th to 24. Julie Hamilton is our Hilltop Special Needs aide, effective August 15 to 24. And Darlene Halloran, a CHS Health aide, effective August 19th to 24. Those are in Exhibit 1. On a transfer and reassign, Kay Geisler from 3.75 hour special needs aide to 7.25 hours. Megan Coggins from 3.75 hour special needs aide to 5.5 hour special needs aide. Under hiring a classified, Regina Reynolds, you might remember that name, CHS Health aide, now effective August 20th of 2024 at $27.52 an hour for 6 hours a day. Krista Phillips, CBMS special needs aide at 3.75 hours a day at $16.24 an hour, effective September 16th of 2024. And Ed Salustio, our sound and lighting technician, at $18 per hour as needed. All those were in Exhibit 2, and Ed is in the house tonight. Under letter D, approved subs, we have Eva Manor and Allison Zuzik. And then under letter E for hiring, we have our extracurricular coaches and supervisors. So all of those as presented.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to accept the personnel resignations, transfers, and hirings as presented in all the exhibits outlined?
So moved, Campbell.
Second, Demilo.
Any other discussion? Welcome to all those that are coming on board, and
Welcome back, Reggie.
yes.
Yes,
How'd we get her out of retirement?
well, our former nurse lasted one day. she decided that that wasn't the job for her at the high school. So allegedly, the superintendent might have had Nurse Reggie's cell phone number. And when I called her, she picked up, number one, which doesn't happen when I call at times, and said, Mr. Knoll, whatever I can do to help you. That's just how she is, as you all know. And I told her what was going on. She said, I'll be there tomorrow at 7 a.m. I said, yes, ma'am.
Well, we appreciate
Haven't looked back
that.
yet. So she's awesome. Yeah,
That's great.
Great lady. So we're blessed. That's all I can say, because that's a tough spot.
Yeah.
Tough job.
Excellent. Very good. Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
And I'd like to recommend approving list of parent and district support organizations for the 24-25 school year as per policy 9211, pending the completion of all their forms by September 30th of this year. All of those clubs, booster clubs, as presented.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve the list of the parent district support organizations for the 2024-25 school year as presented?
So moved, Alquist.
Second, DeCapua?
Any discussion?
Yes. I know that each booster group had met in August, correct? And all were accounted for? All participated?
I would say no, because I was at that meeting, and I know there were some folks that weren't there that night. I don't know if Mr. Beam connected with them on his own or not, but I believe he has, but I can confirm.
Thank you.
Yep.
Did we add any? No, everybody's, I mean, I don't see anything new, right? So,
No, I don't think
yes, I don't know. Okay. Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
And I'd like to recommend amending resolution number 2-2025, declaring transportation impractical for the students as listed in Exhibit 5.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to amend Resolution 2-2025 that declares transportation impractical for students as presented in Exhibit 5?
So moved, DeCapua?
Second, Demila.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
And I'd like to also recommend approval of a revised 24-25 school calendar for this year. That's found in Exhibit 6.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve the recommended revised calendar for the 2024-25 school year?
So moved, Campbell.
Second, Alquist.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, so this changes nothing for students. It's just a regular school year, just like the calendar was, but we had to make one modification. On the last day, that's student day, on Friday, May the 30th, we're going to turn that into a last day for kids, but also a final day for teachers. So they can work their regular day and then continue on to finish up. Okay? And the reason why we did this was because we have some folks who are retiring. And if they had to come a day in June on that Monday, and Ms. Treasurer, correct me if I'm wrong, there was an opportunity where they would lose a month of their pension. And having experienced that, that's not a good thing. So I want to applaud Ms. Prince for clarifying that for us. But this is basically a good thing for our teachers, especially those that are retiring.
Obviously, the teachers were supportive of it, even though they may have to stay a little later that day.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yeah, and I told them, I said, I get coming back on Mondays a little tough,
Yeah.
but if you want to do a long day and got to put your time in, get checked out, your keys and everything handed in, they're able to do that. So it's going to be up to teacher discretion for those folks.
Very good. Okay. Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. And finally, donations. Abby, you want to read that one? Or
Gotta find
Tracy?
them.
I have them.
There's
Where?
two. That's-
This is what I
yeah,
have.
that one and then.
All
it's
two of them?
Reads two, yeah, one's that, one's that.
Okay. September 2024 donations. The American Red Cross, $250 to go towards the high school scholarship. And Robert Sen, did provide for us new staff ID badges as a donation.
Very good.
Do you want to mention the Junior Women's League tonight, or
do you wanna-
Actually,
wait till?
So does that go in, will that end up hitting? But yeah, actually, it's probably worth noting. So
Absolutely, right now.
yeah, so I think
Yeah.
prior to, since it didn't make it on YouTube today, prior to the start of the board meeting, we did have the Junior Women's League in attendance today, and they presented a generous check to Mr. Knoll in the amount of $1,000 to go to his Champions Day. And so it's a cause that they felt that they wanted to support and saw the success that it's been having. And we all know that Mr. Knoll brought that to Canfield. It was an inaugural year when he came on board, and it's been continuing every year since his role as superintendent, and has kind of grown and had great success. So we appreciate that $1,000 donation, and I know Mr. Knoll appreciates it greatly, and it'll go to great use. And I think for those that missed it early, he said those would go to all those that participate. They'll get a T-shirt, they'll get a medal, and they'll get fed nicely that day. So we thank them for their generosity, and appreciate that.
Well said, thank you.
All right, can I have a motion to accept the donations as submitted?
So moved. DeCapua?
Second, Milo.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. Anything else to present?
No, sir.
All right, at that point, I think we can have a motion to adjourn. Anybody?
So moved.
Anyone want a second?
Second.
Second.
How about all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, and have a great evening, everyone. Fast and efficient.